Well, the new foam has finally come in. And so now the next step is I'm going to take some 60 grit sandpaper, and just by hand I'm going to come through and scuff up all the glass on here that the new foam's going to be, I guess, bonding onto. And then we're going to vacuum all the dust out, wipe it down with some acetone, and then we're ready to basically start mixing and pouring. Now again, the foam that we're going to be using, it's a 2-part urethane expanding foam. It's a closed cell foam, and I'm using a 16-pound density, which is going to be extremely hard. You know, in order to dent it, you would need to give it a really good whack with a hammer, or 2 or 3. It's very hard stuff. So I want to make sure that when I'm pouring this, I get it in all of the little nooks and crannies. So I'm going to start off by going around the perimeter and pouring it into these areas that, you know, have little cavities in here. So I want to do, because this is the deepest cavity, you know, on this end by the rudder post, I want to get this area filled in first, and then I'll rotate the rudder so that it's on this edge, and I'll fill in this area, and eventually towards the tip of the blade. And then after I've gotten all that filled, then I can just lay the panel flat, or lay the rudder flat, and do the bulk pouring here in the middle. Just to be on the safe side, this bushing that was sitting there, or, you know, that's at the top of this rudder post, I'm going to cover this, tape it, and just completely protect it, just in case any foam kind of expands up and rolls down. I do not want to get, you don't want to get this foam anywhere that it's not supposed to go, because I'm telling you, it's going to be a royal bear to clean it off if it doesn't really behave. First pour. Stir. Pour. I'm going to try and fill it about halfway on each side of the cavity here and empty this bucket out, or at least scrape it as clean as I can. All right. You want to make sure that you get this stuff mixed up as good as possible. To be honest, if I had a little mixing paddle that I could hook onto my drill, that's probably what I would do. And look, all right, now I'm starting to see that it visibly changed color. It turned dark. So that's going to tell me that when I see that color change while I'm mixing it in the bucket, that's when I need to really focus on pouring it. Here we go. I was kind of hoping that this part up here was going to expand all the way up to the top, but it seems that it's expanded this way more than anything. Not a big deal. I'll also have to do another pour when I actually go to do this corner. I'll also have to make sure that I pour a little bit extra and let it kind of soak or weep over into here. It's hot. It's very hot. I don't know that I'd want to do a pour that's much thicker than this. I mean, yeah, it's like very hot. Anytime you're working with, you know, compounds that have I guess an exothermic reaction, you always run the risk if you pour it too thick or mix it too hot that you know, it can start fires. All right, doing mix number 2. This is just a smaller batch. you're pouring this, I guess the biggest thing is you just want to make sure that you don't somehow create or trap a void in here. Now I think our last pour, I'm going to put it up on edge so I can do this area right through here. And then I think we'll be ready to lay it flat and do the bulk of the body here. So. Well, I think this is about as far as I'm going to go with it today. I want to do some sanding on here to get some of this bulk, you know, over spuge stuff, kind of taken down, knocked down, and just kind of roughly shaped, kind of, you know, get a better idea of, you know, where I'm low, where I need to add a little bit more, and that kind of thing. So there's no point in really piling it on because it's just going to create more work for myself. You know, I don't want to do any more sanding than I have to. So I think this is the right call. So I'm going to check out for the night, and I will see you tomorrow.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.